To the delight of many fans, many new details about the upcoming The Expendables 4 were announced at CinemaCon. The movie will officially be called The Expendables with a 4 instead of an A in the title and will be much more violent than its predecessor. Moreover, we now know who exactly will be involved in the blockbuster. The published cast list includes names like Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Curtis Jackson aka 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Andy Garcia, and of course Sylvester Stallone. The plot is expected to focus on a potential nuclear war between the United States and Russia, which makes the topic as relevant as ever. We also learned from a statement by Stallone that this will be the last Expendables movie starring him. Instead, there will be more emphasis on characters like Statham's Lee Christmas in the future. In addition to The Expendables, which is scheduled to hit theaters in the course of next year, a spin-off of Jason Statham's character is also being planned, along with a female counterpart called The Expendables. Fast and Furious fans were in for a surprise when director Justin Lin announced his exit from Fast and Furious 10. Allegedly, there were various conflicts between Lin and the studio. For example, he is said to have been faced with a screenwriter with whom he did not get along well. Vin Diesel, who is a producer besides his work as an actor, is also believed to have contributed significantly to Lin's departure. On April 23rd, there is said to have been a big dispute. Vin Diesel seems not to have backed down on certain demands regarding the film, which was probably too much for the director. Both sides came to an agreement and decided to look for a new director, which is an extremely costly affair. Each missed day of shooting is said to cost the studio up to $1 million in expenses. Besides, it was necessary to find not only any director, but one who's willing to lower his own creative standards. After all, the requirements of Diesel and Universal have to be met. With Frenchman Louis Leterrier, they may have found that person. In any case, he has already produced some good movies like The Transporter or Now You See Me. We are eager to find out how the production will evolve under the new direction. Fast and Furious 10 is scheduled for release on May 19th, 2023. There's news from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As Disney revealed recently, there are changes in the release dates of The Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The Marvels is pushed back a few months and will no longer be released in February, but on July 28th, 2023. In exchange, the new Ant-Man film will take over the old release date of The Marvels and will now hit theaters significantly earlier on February 17th, 2023. According to Disney's official announcement, this has very convenient reasons as Ant-Man 3 is presently in a much more advanced stage of production than planned. Further information is available on another MCU film, namely Fantastic Four. The release date has not been altered here, but there has been a change of director. As Deadline reported, John Watts has left the project because he needs some distance from the superhero genre for the time being. This is more than comprehensible after all the 40-year-old directed the entire Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland. His former employer also shows sympathy. In a statement, Marvel boss Kevin Feige expressly wishes to work with him again in the future. Now, Watts is responsible for a thriller on Apple TV Plus that features a top-class cast including George Clooney and Brad Pitt, and that fits perfectly with a desired superhero break. Unfortunately, it is not yet known when exactly and above all with which director Fantastic Four will go into production. Fans have been waiting for the next installment of the Mission Impossible franchise to be released since January 2019. Now, after many eventless months during the pandemic, new details are finally coming to light. The movie, previously known only as Mission Impossible 7, now has a new title: Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Hence, the upcoming 8th part will be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. A first trailer was shown to selected people at the recent CinemaCon, but it has not yet been published online. According to eyewitness reports, the trailer shows a conversation between Ethan Hunt and his ex-boss Eugene Kittredge, who was last seen in the very first Mission Impossible film. There are also exciting shots from the well-known filming locations of Venice, the Vatican, and the vast desert. In addition to Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt and Henry Czerny as Kittredge, the trailer also features Vanessa Kirby as White Widow and Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa. At the end of the trailer, Tom Cruise's daring motorcycle stunt over a cliff in Norway can be admired. Though there were no big surprises, the shown material looks very promising for a traditional Mission Impossible movie. Many fans are looking forward to the next installments of the John Wick franchise, including the series The Continental and the spin-off Ballerina. There's news about the latter as shooting is set to start already this summer. The plot of the spin-off revolves around a young follower of the Ballerinas. This is a group of female assassins who are trained by the director. Incidentally, this is something they have in common with John Wick, since he too was made into the killer he is today by Roscoe Roma when he was an orphan. Like the young John Wick, the young assassin Rooney Brown also has the ambitious goal of becoming a professional killer. Having had her entire family murdered, she now seeks revenge. She suspects Elias Mueller, the mayor of the unremarkable town of Sunnyvale, to be behind the crime. After the filming with leading actress Ana de Armas failed to start as planned in 2020 due to the pandemic, the shooting is now scheduled to begin this summer. Lionsgate should have enough to do at the moment anyway, since John Wick Chapter 4 is currently in post-production. It looks like fans can also expect an appearance by Keanu Reeves as John Wick in Ballerina. We would be very surprised if Lionsgate missed the opportunity. The director is Len Wiseman, who was already in charge of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. There's no release date for Ballerina yet, but the next movie from the franchise will be John Wick Chapter 4 anyways, due for release on March 24th, 2023. John Krasinski's A Quiet Place was a huge success among horror and thriller fans in its 2018 release year. The story is explained quite simply. Earth has been conquered by mysterious aliens who are drawn to sounds thanks to their sensitive hearing. Those who have not yet fallen victim to the so-called Death Angels must lead their lives in absolute silence. Otherwise, they will be slain by the monsters. A Quiet Place and its sequels are about the Abbott family, played by the actors Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe. After A Quiet Place 2 was already released in theaters last summer, rumors about a third part started to pile up. Krasinski did confirm that the story of the Abbotts is not over yet, but that we will have to wait until at least 2025. However, a spin-off announced at CinemaCon is expected to be released much sooner, on September 22nd, 2023. The official title of the movie is A Quiet Place Day 1, which already gives us a rough idea of the plot. The spin-off will certainly deal with the original arrival of the aliens as its main subject. Fittingly, the movie is likely to be much more chaotic than the main series. After all, when the aliens arrived, the humans had no idea how to survive the battle against them. The extremely costly learning process could then also take place in a different setting, for example in a big city with many potential victims. Behind the scenes, director Michael Sarnofsky is to helm the movie after Jeff Nichols left the production to pursue a sci-fi project of his own. Sarnofsky is still largely unknown, but has already had some success with his film Pig starring Nicolas Cage. We are definitely excited to see what the young director will come up with in A Quiet Place Day 1 and are looking forward to the movie, which will hit theaters on September 22nd, 2023. That's it for our news today. This week, we suggest you watch the new trailer for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, as well as the new trailer for the Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. You don't want to miss it.